You always knew. You always had this discernment, knowing right from wrong. Even when you were a tiny little child, you didn't need anyone to teach you. You didn't need your parents to tell you you should do this and you shouldn't do this. You always knew. As a matter of fact, likely, very likely, you are born into the narcissistic family. One or both of your parents who were narcissists, who you knew that the way they were teaching you and how they were behaving and how they were acting towards you or even towards your siblings was not okay. But at that point, all you could do was just be quiet and survive. And that's when you entered the survival mode. You knew all along about all the bullies in your school. You knew what they were doing. You knew when people were lying. You knew when someone was trying to manipulate you. You knew all along. You were the first one to jump in and protect those who were being bullied. You were the first one to jump in and show compassion and love to those in need, to those that were crying, to those that were hurting, to those that were outcasted. And somehow also you knew that you are going to be okay, that you were protected, that you are to shield those in need, and that somehow you're going to be okay. So deep down, you knew you had a higher purpose. You knew there is something bigger here on this planet that you are to do. You simply knew that. You simply knew that there is no chance that you are not going to be doing good by others, that you're not going to be putting others in danger, that you're not going to be harming others, that you're not going to be hurting people. You knew that. Somehow, all your life, you had to fight against those who were out there to hurt you, though, to harm you, to make your life miserable, to make your life very hard, starting with your parents, your siblings, your friends in school, your teachers, your pastors. And then as you went into an adulthood, your relationships, almost every single one of them. It was all of these low vibrational beings that were entering your life and that had a different mission than yours. You, without even knowing, you had a mission, God's mission, to walk in your purpose, and you didn't even know that, because all of these low vibrational beings were keeping you stuck in those relationships, stuck with those needy, harmful relationships with your parents, with your friends, but most likely in your romantic relationships, because that's the easiest way those low vibrational evil spirits can get to you and keep you from your purpose. Now, yes, it can get very lonely. Once you start to realize, and once you start to truly not only discern what's right or wrong on the outside, you start discerning what's right or wrong within you and what's good and bad for you. And that includes your parents, and it definitely includes your significant other, if it's a narcissist, and likely you had experience with those, you start to be more and more alone. And the pet is lonely. The pet can get lonely. And all you want is to share love, to spread love and compassion, and to be met with love. Now, if you're walking in God's path and you have a mission from God to spread love, to share love, and to share compassion, God is using you as a human avatar to do that. And those low vibrational beings are also humans. And someone is also using them as an avatar for their mission. Now, who do you think that could be? Who do you think is using a narcissist as a human avatar to get to you, to stop you from your mission, to spread and share the love and light of God? I think we both know who. So once you start to realize that the path, your path, is going to become lonely, and you're going to start walking alone on that path. God wants you to be alone. In this scenario in your life, in this moment in your life, God wants you to be alone because you haven't yet started walking in your purpose. You haven't found your purpose yet, and you're not going to find your purpose if you're stuck in those relationships with, it doesn't matter if it's your parent, it doesn't matter if it's your sibling, it doesn't matter if it's your spouse, your significant other, your partner who you've been with for 15 years. How are you going to walk in your purpose if this person or people are keeping you stuck from being in your purpose? By lying, by deceiving, by making you doubt yourself, making you doubt God, making you doubt your purpose, making you doubt anything you're doing, keeping you small, making sure that you lose your understanding of who you are and what you are here to do. That's their purpose. They're winning if you're with them. If you're not, if you cut that cord and you start walking alone, you win. Actually, God wins. Now, as you start walking on this path and you're alone, and this is really, truly at the most deepest sorrowful moment, and really the hardest moment is when this happens. You're going to feel alone, you're going to feel defeated, you're going to feel like, why is my life has been so hard, and why did I have to go through all of this, and why did I have to be met with so many narcissists and so many manipulators and so many deceitful people? Why did I have to get through this? And when you're completely at your weakest point, you're going to see at the corner of your eye that there is another path. And that path is going to shine a tiny little bit of light. And you're going to take that path, because this path is going to be inviting. You're going to be curious. You're going to start thinking, what is this? Why is this here? I haven't noticed this before. You couldn't notice it because you were in a cloud of self-doubt that they have done to you all of their lives. Now, as you start walking on this new path, the light is going to become brighter and brighter and shinier and shinier. And it is then that you're going to finally start seeing more clearly and clearly what your purpose is. It is to create. It is to create the music that you always wanted to create, to write that book that you always wanted to write, to start that business that you always wanted to start, to do all of those things that were buried deep inside, that you forgot that you wanted this, that you forgot that these are your gifts. You forgot your gift. And it has been knocking, but at one point it became so quiet, buried under all of the self-doubt from living with all of those narcissists your whole life. Now, as you start walking on this path that God wants you to walk on, at some point, you're going to meet someone. You're only going to meet someone when you walk in your purpose. You're not going to meet someone outside of your purpose and outside of your God-made, created path, because that was never meant to happen. It was never meant to happen. Now, I want you to go. I want you to go ahead and start walking in your purpose. Start appreciating the fact that you're alone. Start understanding that God at this point wants you to be alone, because He wants you to find your purpose. He wants you to walk in your purpose. He wants you to be all of what you are meant to be in this lifetime. And by the way, you're never alone. You're with yourself, you're with God all the time, and you are finally with your purpose. Thank you, and we'll talk soon.